So after going over that AI generated list of anime recommendations for first time viewers, some people in my personal life have asked me to give my own recommendation list for first time viewers. Now, I have to premise this because I can't stress this enough, no matter how many times people ask me. There is no catch all recommendation for people. Everyone is different, everyone's viewing habits are different. Now, I was very meticulous on making this list. So hopefully, I've got something on here for everyone's viewing habits. Can't guarantee that because it's only a list of 10, but I did my best, so here's hoping. I also did my best to avoid big name anime like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, because while I do love these anime, they're very important to me. Three of them I grew up watching. One I started watching during the COVID lockdown because I finally had time to watch the 900 plus episodes, now 1,000 plus episodes. Um, Anyone who has been thinking about getting into anime knows these anime. If they wanted to start with them, they wouldn't need this list. So I made sure I didn't put any big name anime in this list except for one, but I asked you to cut me a little bit of slack on that one. So without further ado, in no particular order, because these are all fantastic anime, Frieren. Now, this is the biggest anime on this list. And in my defense, it's only big because it was nominated for Anime of the Year, obviously. I'm not going to debate whether or not it earned it, whether or not it deserved it more than Solo Leveling. I don't care. I like them both. I like them both equally. Solo Leveling did not make this list because it's way too intense for first-time viewers, but it's still good. Frieren is equally good in its own way. Now, Frieren's a lot slower. It is. But if you like high fantasy, if you're a Dungeons and Dragons player that wants to get into anime, if you like Lord of the Rings, you're going to like Frieren. You are. It's just that's the easiest way to explain this absolute beauty of an anime. It follows Frieren, who is, 1,000-year-old elf, as she wanders the world and learns more about the world as she grows. She's still seen as kind of an adolescent in the way of, as far as elves go. She was originally a member of a hero party, but she's now outgrown them all. They're all dead, and she's forming her own party and friends again. And it's a feel good, The writing is great, the character development is great, the action scenes are great. I give it a solid 9.2 out of 10. I love it. Next one we're going to talk about is Failure Frame. Now, I love isekai. I do. This list it's not just a list of isekai. Obviously, Frieren's on there, but the rest of them aren't all isekai. There was a lot of isekai I wanted to put on this list, but it's like I fought the urge. I did. This one follows... he's technically a high school student. Him and his entire class get teleported to this other world and given powers, and the main character is given what's considered really bad powers, useless powers, thus the name Failure Frame. He gets sent to this dungeon where he has to try and survive, but all the monsters are like way higher powered leveled, and he shows that there is a way to survive no matter how useless your skill set is. You can find a way to make it work in any situation if you push your mind to it. Nothing is completely useless. And while he's driven by revenge, it's still a good message. Next is Akudama Drive. Now, this is a far in the future, high sci-fi anime that follows 7 criminals that are basically being blackmailed to do a bunch of things to help somebody else. That's kind of all I can give without spoiling the ending of it. It's super short. If I remember correctly, it's 12 episodes. It's been a year and a half since I watched it, but it's really good. The writing's great. There's not a whole lot of room for character development because all the characters are adults already. But there is a little bit of character development because they were all like lone wolf criminals that are now working together. It's good. If you like cyberpunk, if you like Grand Theft Auto. If you like futuristic games or shows, Firefly, you'll like Akudama Drive. It's nothing like Firefly. I don't know why I threw that out there other than sci-fi, but it's good. You'll enjoy it, I promise. Um, Next is Code Geass, Lelouch's Rebellion. I say Lelouch's Rebellion instead of just Code Geass because the one that came out after that, I can't even remember the name of it right now, is, in my opinion, not great. I wanted to love it, but anyway, Code Geass, Lelouch's Rebellion is about the Britannian Empire's occupation of Japan, and Lelouch is he creates this mercenary group that is attempting to help liberate Japan. He gets the power called Geass that, as long as he can make eye contact, he can make them do something. In most cases, he can only make them do one thing. Once he releases them, they are immune to the Geass. He can't use it again. So it's not as overpowered as it sounds, but it's still kind of overpowered. Next one is, we're dredging up the past a little bit, and I caught a little bit of flack from some of my friends that saw this list before I made the video, for having this on here. Chrome Shelled Regios. Now, it's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi anime, but it doesn't feel post-apocalyptic. And that's because for the majority of it, you won't realize it's post-apocalyptic. There's a couple times where they reference the fact that the cities they're in are atop moving vessels that they call Regios, because the world basically was, destroyed by people because people suck. But it is really good. I would give it an 8.3 out of 10. The writing's good. The character progression is good. Character growth is good. It's not the best anime. It's definitely not even the best on this list. But it is good. I do recommend it. And I think most first-time viewers would enjoy it because it has a little bit of everything. It's got the action. It's got the sci-fi. It's got monsters. And it has a little bit of romance for those who like slice of life. So, speaking of slice of life, you can't have a recommendation list without one. I've got Fuka. Fuka's a nice slice of life anime that does kind of tug on the heartstrings, especially if you read the manga. The main character is a boy who is just glued to his phone almost 24/7, and we all know somebody like that. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're probably watching it on your phone, right? We all know somebody who's like that. And he meets this girl, Fuka, who is big energy, almost never on her phone. She's got big aspirations for the future. And they get together and they form a band. It's just a real good feel-good. And it does tug on your heartstrings. I recommend it. Just, the manga is not for the faint of heart. It will make you cry. So, it's been about 5 years since I've watched Fuka, but as I recall, it does have a happy ending, which is why it's only 12 episodes long. If they had gone any further, it wouldn't have a happy ending. Anyway, this next one is on this list because it's one of the best video game adaptation anime, and that's kind of a rough thing to say about it. It's Tales of the Abyss. For those of you who don't know, the Tales of franchise is this fantastic JRPG franchise created by Namco Bandai that's been running for decades. And Tales of the Abyss is inarguably one of the top 3 best Tales of games out there. You can't really play it anymore without pirating it or getting a ROM and an emulator because it's only for the PlayStation 2 and the 3DS. And if you have one of those, good luck getting a copy of the game without shelling out a couple $100. So, I recommend watching this anime because you can watch this and still feel like you've played the game. Obviously, you don't have all the side quests, but you have the main storyline. And it's done so well. It feels like you're watching cutscenes from a game without feeling like you're watching cutscenes from a game. I know that doesn't really make sense, but it's just so good. This next one, I have a problem with this one. I love it, But there's so many people out there who have watched it, and even though it's on its fourth season, people still watch it and think it's an isekai. It's not. It has some tropes that they borrowed from isekai, but it is not an isekai. It's Danmachi, or if you're watching it on Hulu, or just you're watching it in the United States, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Yeah, it's got a really goofy name, and it has, I mean, it's gonna have fan service. With a name like that, it's gonna have fan service, and I personally think it doesn't need as much fan service as it has, but it has a little bit of fan service. And I did, before you get up on your high horse and start yelling at me for having some fan servicey stuff. I did rule out a lot of other anime that I felt would be good for this list because they had too much fan service. Keep that in mind. But it's really good anime, that high fantasy. If you like, I would say if you like mythology, you'll like this, but they kind of twist mythology a lot. So if you like mythology, you might not like this, but it is fun. It's funny. It's got some great character progression, some great character growth, especially since Belle, the main character, starts off super weak. And I mean, by the fourth season, he's not like the strongest adventurer, but he's by no means weak. He can hold his own in combat now. So, like I said earlier, I love isekai. This next one is the OG. It was an isekai before isekai was a genre. I watched this on Toonami back when Toonami was in the middle of the day. Well, 5 p.m., close enough to the middle of the day. It's Dot Hack Sign. Now, Dot Hack Sign is what Sword Art Online wishes it was. It is about a guy who's trapped in a video game. He can't log out. He doesn't know why. He's trying to figure it out so he can log out and go back about his life. Now, it is a fairly old anime. However, I promise you the animation on it isn't dated. The artwork on it isn't dated. It still, to this day, looks really good. I give it a 9.2 out of 10. Definitely recommend it. I've recently gone back and started rewatching it just because it's been so long since I watched it, and I still love it. So it's one of the first anime I watched. My first one was Gurren Lagann, which I don't recommend to anyone as a first-time anime. Luckily, I'm just a huge nerd, so it worked out. Most people aren't that lucky. I'm not willing to take that risk. But Dot Hack Sign, I want to say, was like the fourth anime I ever watched, and it was, once it got its hooks in me, I was toast. It's like, yeah, anime life for me, The last one on my list is History's Mightiest Disciple, Kenichi. Now, this one makes the top 5 anime for me, always. It's about this high school student he's been getting bullied basically his entire life, and he's got a love for martial arts. He's always wanted to learn martial arts, but he's a coward. He's not really strong. He's not coordinated at all. But he finally gets a teacher, and he starts learning, and he's not great at it, but he's not bad at it either. He's a genius of hard work. He's really bad at martial arts, but he learns well, and that's great. The biggest issue with this anime is, and this is pretty sad. While the first season is rock solid, an absolute banger, 9.5 out of 10, everybody should watch this anime if you haven't already. When they started making season 2, about 4 or 5 episodes in, the voice actress of the main female character passed away. And Japan, especially at the time of this show, which I want to say was the late 90s, if I remember correctly, was very much about being respectful to their people. So when she passed away, instead of recasting her and continuing on like we would have here in America, they stopped the show. You can still find those 4 or 5 episodes. I can't say where because I have the distinct feeling YouTube won't let me. But you can find them if you search them. I promise. They're really good. Um, but if you want the full story of History's Mightiest Disciple, Kenichi, you will have to read it. And it's a good read. I've read the manga from start to finish probably about 6 times now on a manga reader app on my phone. I recommend that as well. But History's Mightiest Disciple is one of my favorite anime of all time because it's so good. My son and I have watched it more times than I care to count. It's 25 episodes for season 1, if I remember correctly. Because it's back in the 90s where a season was going to be anywhere from 20 to 28 episodes. It's not this 12-episode nonsense that we've got today. But, yeah, that's my recommendation list for first-time viewers as far as anime goes. If you disagree with anything on my list, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you think something else should be on that list, once again, let me know in the comments below, and I'll tell you why it didn't make the list, because there was a lot that I had to cut out. This was not an easy list to make. And remember, everyone takes you way more serious when you've got a notebook or some paper in front of you. I mean, this bullshit's blank. Have a good night.